Good morning, everybody. Happy holidays and welcome to the holiday edition, I guess we should say, of Hobby Hotline episode 281. Wow, that's a lot. My name, of course, is Drew or DH. We got an awesome panel here today. Joining me, of course, from Sports Card Nation, Mr. John Newman. What's up, man?
Morning, everybody.
And then we've got the man himself, not a kid anymore, Brody TK. What's up, dude?
Good morning, guys.
Hope everybody's doing well. What's up, Mad City Brew, White Sox Tom, Mark Hoyle's Impossible Dream. I love the screen name. Welcome everybody to the show, episode 281, the holiday edition. Guys, we all matched. It was pretty awesome. Brody, me and John actually coordinated it because we realized we had the same one. Brody came swinging in already prepped and ready. He had it going.
Brody knows. It's not Bo knows, it's Brody knows.
Exactly.
That whole thing.
I love it.
And he's wearing a White Sox shirt, which Bo played for, so it's Brody knows.
There you go.
I mean, this is all I want for Christmas. The Sox to actually make some major league decisions. Actually sign some major league players. That should be.
You might want to have a backup wish.
I was about to say you might want to ask for something else. Ask it for something else.
It can actually come true. Yeah.
Well, listen, me and Drew can't pick on you. We're wearing Steelers and Panthers Christmas hats.
We're putting up banners. We're putting up banners that we're the first team that didn't go 0-17. So,
Yep, and
that's what we got
Steelers,
going for us.
Steelers in recent years have not had postseason success, so we don't have much to hang our hat on.
You just got a great coach that can make anything out of nothing.
well, there's even, I don't want to make this a whole football show, but there's even rumblings that, he might not be long for the Steelers. Although the Steelers don't fire coaches generally, so we'll see how this all plays out. But just a reminder, only 2 days to get your shopping done if you haven't done it yet or haven't finished it yet. So
yes, and by the way, thank you Amazon for delaying one of my big presents for my son and for 2 weeks and letting me find out this morning. Appreciate that, guys. But yes, a couple days left before the big holiday. But I guess you guys got anything special going on for the day? I know we're going to the Panther game on Christmas Eve, so I'll be there. For some reason.
No,
I don't know why we're torturing ourselves for Christmas Eve, but we are.
I was going to say, are you sure that's a Christmas spirit type of an event?
Jude wants to go, so we'll go. Everyone else,
cool. That's cool. Yeah. For me, just we're having some family over. It's our turn, kind of the host this year. So small get together and some people coming from out of state. So that'll be fun. And as a teaching assistant, I'm off work till January 2nd, so it'll allow me to get some stuff done off my to-do list, and looking forward to that, and some relaxation in there as well.
Nice. Just off to grandma's house, relaxing, and off to January 8th, so pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah, I have one last deal to go work today after the show, and then I'm actually off until the 2nd as well, John. I have no idea what we're going to do with ourselves. We're going down to Florida to see my mom. We got a lot of family in right now, so hopefully everyone out there is having a great holidays as well. But guys, this is a sports show and a hobby show, so let's dive into it. I figured there's nowhere else to start. 2023, I guess, tis the season of Bowman duplicate superfractors yet again. I mean, at every single release, we've had an issue. Now, I do want to preface, and this is a big thing right here, this issue finally was not on Topps End. This was not on Topps End, which we'll get into in a minute. But duplicate superfractors of Bowman hitting the market. What do you guys think about all this?
Well, let me ask you, I'll go first. Let me ask, this is someone in the Dallas area. I just want to get the facts straight. Yes. That was just making them.
Well, we don't know yet because they live. All I know for certain, and this is we found someone through their seller history, which I only had around 700 or 800. We found someone through their seller history that we were able to get their address. They live within 5 miles of the printing facility that was Cardamundi and is now, Tops, owned by Tops. They all had the official stamps and everything on them. It screams printing company employee. Like it screams it to me, or knowing someone at that printing company. But somehow he was able to list 24 superfractors from this year, which that's how he was caught so easily. He listed 24 at once and then another superfractor from another set as well that was also a duplicate. So he listed all those at once, and those have all been taken down now. So that's
this
basically
may be a rogue. This may be a rogue printing press employee, or someone
yes.
that knows someone on the inside that said, "Hey, you have the plate. Print me up some extra ones of these custom order." Takes Topps custom cards to the next level, right?
That it does. That it does. So Brody,
I
have
mean,
you heard much about
yeah,
this?
I'll
Have
let
you seen much?
Brody weigh in here.
I mean, 25 superfractors. When I saw this, that doesn't look suspicious, right? I
I
mean,
know.
come on, man. Like, at
Yeah.
least list them separately. Like, do you want to get caught in within 3 seconds? Like, it's
That's
Christmas
what
time. Like, dummy.
the,
Wow.
that, that's one of the things we talked about on this week's show. Like, were they that stupid to think that no one was going to catch on putting 24 out within a week to a week and a half of release date? Or have they done this so many times and gotten away with it that they're so brazen that they figured, now we can do just 24 and they just don't care anymore? Are they, because it could go both ways. They could have just gotten so cocky that they're like, no one's going to catch this. Or because if you look in the past, a lot of their sales are select greens out of 5. And if you notice, they're all the non-autos and things like that. So you've now got to go back and look. If you look through their seller history, you've got to look at all those big cards that they had, and you've got to really go check to see if those are duplicates as well. And I mean, they're not, it doesn't seem, like I said at the beginning, the same ones from earlier, because those duplicates were, all tracked and everything done by Tops at pack out, and a mistake right there. But there's definitely a possibility that it's being done at the actual factory and not some type of reprint. From my understanding, these were 1000% legit looking supers.
Here's the thing. It's we're in a hobby now with social media, guys. Everyone on the screen here, probably 99% of the chat room knows the hobby's so big now. Social media is so huge that people compare notes. You got blowout form detectives, like you're going to get caught. This would be impossible to
Yeah.
pull off. It's not it's not counterfeiting money where it's harder to track that and
Right.
where it's these are cards, specific cards that are numbered 101, not a bunch of $20 bills or
Well,
$100 bills.
Well,
So,
an
like
important comment here from Women in Cups Project, real quick, John. Sorry, the duplicates, according to Mike Mahan, were cards that did not pass quality, so they still could have been made at the shop, but they might, or this easily could have been taking pieces from the shop and acquiring them over time until you're able to make them, as good a quality as you can get. But apparently, they weren't up to 100% standard quality, but there could be a million reasons for that, and it could still be done at the factory with the way those cards are made.
yeah, I mean, how do you combat this? I know some people are not going to like this answer, Drew and Brody, because we're trying, and I know Fanatics is trying to get away from redemptions, but maybe for
Yeah.
101 cards, you need to just make them redemptions. Hey, congratulations. You just got a 101 Tom Brady gold auto, whatever, insert name of player kind of card, super refractor. Please contact however they want to do that. This and to get your card, right? Can counterfeits still happen?
Yeah.
It can, but at least if you're getting that redemption card out of the pack itself, it's the legit one.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe they can even, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, well, Topps did put out a statement saying that they're aware of the issue and that they're looking into it. I'm glad to see them at least semi address it immediately and not wait weeks before they, say anything. But I don't know. It seems like I'd be taking a long, hard look at production. I'm assuming they paid very close attention to the pack out process of the supers this time around after the last Bowman release. But I mean, you had those pad Parisias over in Italy for F1 at one of the Italian plants overseas that had all of those fake pad Parisias that were, the duplicates or the triplicates, whatever you want to call them. And someone ended up in their hands on basically the entire run. So this stuff's happened at other plants overseas. A lot of these people move back and forth from these companies. There's a lot I hope Topps is doing and Fanatics is doing besides just buying a printing press. I really hope they're looking at the logistics and how these cards are being done and how they're being packed out, because it's obvious from all the fakes now that people that are working at these places know what this stuff is worth now. They know when this big time stuff is coming down the line. Because they're probably told to take good care of it. They see less of it. They see the 101 stuff, and you're going to learn the industry if you're just around it. So, it's a little scary, and I hope they're working and looking and trying to fix the production issues that they do have, even though I don't think this is on Topps whatsoever. And yes, 1 Million Cubs Project brings up a great point.
Yeah.
Same eBay user also had an eye-opening amount of rare low panini. That's what I was saying before, the select greens. There were a lot of those. And that's why I'm saying he lives 5 minutes from the Cardamundi plant, or he, she, whoever, lives 5 minutes, or the address that was associated to the account is within, a walking distance from that facility. So screams either grabbing some type of equipment thrown out, whatever, I don't know, and maybe building your own machine or or someone inside the plant, but something's going on there.
And here's the thing, I think we can all agree too, whether it's Topps or Fanatics, even if they have no involvement in it, Drew, Brody, the chat, it's still not a good look, right? There are going to be some people who see this, don't deep dive it, and they're going to just say, oh, Topps Fanatics screwing up again, right? At least on the surface, right? So it's not a good look for Topps Fanatics, even though it may not be directly them. Their name is attached to it.
Right.
There's got to be a way to distribute these almost like a blockchain with some more anti-counterfeiting technology.
I really like you said redemptions earlier. I don't know if you saw the Otani redemption that they put in. I don't remember the product, but it was some very nice 1-of-1 Otani, and they made the redemption like 20, like, I don't know, something like 24 karat gold, and it had inscribed what you were getting. So the redemption card was actually awesome as well. And then, they're going to get the card down the line. But I do think something like that's probably.
And even an ownership blockchain, like when someone gets a redemption card, Topps tracks their name, and then if it's ever sold, whether it be on an auction site or a private sale, that's to be tracked. I mean, people have done that, you know what I mean? Played detective. Topps needs maybe to get more hands-on with tracking where these cards are at all times. I know it's easy for me to play armchair, Topps executive here,
but that's one of the things we do here. So real quick, Stukes baseball dumpster diving. How do they dispose of cards that don't pass QA? From what I was told when we had some people from product development and quality assurance on from Panini, that any cards like that and stuff are destroyed. Now, when they get destroyed, there's a lot of hands that they pass, and that's where a lot of these issues could come into play. And it's obvious that there's some flaws, because those Pad Parisia F1s apparently If you believe the story that was told by the person that found them, it was actually in a dumpster, like they just threw them out in a big, 500 count box. That's the story that, at least they were told. So who knows if that's true or not, but I was told that they do destroy them.
Hey, I mean, Jackson Merrill threw his cards in a dumpster.
I totally forgot about Brody. That Brody, you're right. He did. He literally threw him down the trash chute and jammed the trash chute, throwing his away. So who knows?
walk around the National and look at the top of the garbage. There's plenty of cards laying there. Never 1-on-1s though. That's the only disappointing thing.
I mean, who knows what Bo Nickel did with all his? I mean, besides signing the ones that people pull that he's never going to sign. I keep reaching out to management to try and get an answer on if he had a contract or not, because I think if he didn't, that's a crazy important fact to know. But I mean, Bo Nickel stuff, who knows what happened to all those cards? A lot of times, I mean, Julio Jones cards, for example, his cards literally sat with him for 11 years before he fulfilled his redemptions. He had his cards for 11 years before he decided to sign them. So,
listen, if you buy a Giannis 1-on-1, we know that's a forgery because he has them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You saw the video. I remind people all the time. I'll never let people forget that Giannis steals all of his rookie 1-on-1s and early year stuff. I mean, he was the idiot that was dumb enough. I mean, I wish it was better.
I think he just considered them gifts for signing the other numbered cards.
Yeah, right. I'm sure those instructions weren't specific at all when it came to the
keep this one and I'll keep this 1-on-1. That's for me. And I'll send all the others back to Topps. Thanks, Topps.
Yep, there you go.
Panini, I should say.
Jeff's card journey says, rumor has it Ruben hired Deloitte or Pricewater to do a full audit of the system of controls. That's what I want to see, because these problems were happening way before Topps Fanatics even came into the picture. This happened way before Topps, gutted Panini full of employees. All this stuff was going on for a long, long time now. We've seen the Lamar Jackson duplicate, flawless stuff that's out there. Those had to have been backdoored in some way, shape, or form. This stuff's been happening at that plant for a long time, and at the other plants. Really haven't seen much out of the Topps Now plant, but that's a small one in Florida. But you've seen issues at all of them, but this was a pretty big one. But I mean, when it comes to supers in Bowman, I don't know. A pretty dumb product to go after. I mean, I get it. You're going to get a lot of money for this stuff, but Jesus, like, if anyone's tracking supers in Bowman and in 2023 Bowman draft, it's the blowout detectives and the amazing people over there. So even thinking about doing that and then listing 24 is just ridiculously stupid, but it's pretty crazy. Not one Bowman release this year without an issue with superfractors. It's an odd one.
That's for sure.
But speaking of Bowman,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the other on the big side of things is Bowman's kind of taken over the hobby. I think we could all agree for the last week and a half or so, or at least every advertisement and every breaker that I know talking about Bowman. But the Tom Brady cards finally getting pulled, but not only that, those auctions are being done, and the auctions are finalized now that we're a week past. A lot of stuff has already been graded, whole lot of stuff out there. But have you guys seen the sales of these Tom Brady cards? Have you guys gotten a chance to see them yet? They're absolutely insane. They're insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Brody, have you noticed these?
I have not seen them yet. No.
Okay, Brody, listen to this, and then I want to get y'all's opinion on this. All right, December 23rd, the red 5 out of 5, $14.9 thousand. December 22nd, 50 out of 50 gold auto, 15.4K. A yellow lava refractor non-auto at a 75, $1,700. A simple regular old short print, regular Tom Brady that you pull, $775, $1,500. You have another gold auto going for $14,500. You've got one at a $199 going for $1,500. You got another just regular refractor, $1,000, $810. These cards are going, I mean, any gold auto is going for over $15,000. To put that in perspective, a Peyton Manning Contenders graded auto hits about 12. Like, this is wild.
It's nuts, Drew. And I mean, even when the box prices came out before stuff was even pulled yet, you had to pull a Brady to justify it. Even Brady base cards are bringing crazy money.
Yeah.
It reminds me on a much bigger level. Don't get me wrong. It reminds me. I know Brody wasn't around yet, but Drew might remember the '91 Upper Deck SP Jordan, and that was before he went into baseball and gave it a real shot. He just worked out with the White Sox because he was playing with the Bulls, same town. They invited him to just work out, take some batting
Wasn't that with
practice.
the Barons when they actually got the photo? He was with the Barons at the
I
time.
think so, but he wasn't playing baseball like he eventually tried to do. It was just hey, come take some batting practice, shag some balls. And Upper Deck made that card that still popular today, the SP1, and people went nuts opening packs. And those things brought back then for 91. I'm not comparing 91 prices to 23 prices, but that was the same sort of craze that, in this case, not a football player in a baseball product, but a basketball player in a baseball product. I mean, my take on it, Drew, is if I have any of those type of cards, I'm selling now. I think, I know like Tom Brady's a Hall of Famer. Tom Brady's one of the most popular athletes of all time. It's always going to be in demand.
Yeah.
But the top prices are being realized today. So if you're looking, I would sell today and buy later on if I wanted to add that to my personal collection.
Oh, absolutely. These are being snagged up by the diehard Bowman collectors. 100%. These are the Bowman collectors that, and make no mistake about it, there's a massive audience of Bowman collectors that collect full sets, collect full runs of gold when there's short prints, things like that. You saw it with the Legends when they put those out in Bowman Chrome and all that stuff. There's a market for all of it. But yeah, these prices out of the gate are crazy. But one interesting thing that you've seen from it is it's actually spiked this football market too. If you look at the last sales of some of his bigger autos, some of his rookies and stuff like that, it's kind of got the attention back on his entire market, which is interesting. Let's see here what we got in the comments here. Brody, what do you think about the sales? You think they stay? What do you think's driving all this? You think
that's crazy. I mean, $14,000 for a gold Brady auto. That's a lot. I mean, I think the Topps is trying to build the story on if Brady would have played football and they're building baseball, I mean, and they're building his Hall of Fame plaque on baseball. And it's all like kind of funny, kind of silly. But how long are they going to keep that story going? I think eventually it's going to kind of die out on their socials. So, like you said, I think this is definitely like a sell now thing if you do pull one. But
and how long will collectors, especially, because that's the one that matters, they're the ones paying for the cards. How long are collectors going to care? And like you said, I didn't even think about that, but they are, pushing that little mini, if he played baseball type of thing. And I'm sure that is driving some of it, but you can only include the cool. I do like the cool Bill Belichick associated autos. I thought that was a great idea. I did order some just with some points just in case we could grab one. I thought those were a good, tag along, but how long, is that going to last? I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to make 93 or 2023, which has a huge class to begin with. I think these boxes are going to remain expensive long after, years down the line where others might not, because of that. But $15,000 for these golds and these oranges, and these aren't even the inscribed ones. Let's wait till we see the inscribed orange, not the one that has the $500,000 bounty on it, but the other ones. Let's wait till we see those sales. Logan
Yeah,
Ward says hype beasts and flippers are driving some of this. Interesting question, guys. What do you think? Is it hype beasts and flippers, or is it the diehard Bowman market? Do you think
it's
that?
it's probably both, Drew.
I
To
agree.
be honest with you, and it's maybe some really Brady super fans opened some, bought some product to try to get one of these that just has that sort of disposable income. Listen, we don't have to like it, we don't have to open
Right.
it,
Yeah.
but we also have to take off our hats to Tops and Fanatics because it's working for
100%.
them. So so
Absolutely.
we may not be our thing, but for marketing on their part, it's been a win for them. And so I haven't opened any of the Bowman draft for the prices it's bringing.
No.
I love the pull one, but I'm not going to buy one, especially at this point. So maybe they came
Exactly.
down, I'd buy one, whether it be to keep, throw in my showcase at a show, whatever the case may be. But now's the selling time. The buying time comes when the bloom comes a little bit off the rose and things settle down. Defects of life. A comment earlier said, for $15,000, he's going to buy a stunning vintage card, and that's
Yes.
how I
Yeah.
feel.
The babe. Yeah.
For what these modern
You can buy
cards are
3 or
bringing.
4.
Yeah, I was going to say you can buy multiples of a vintage significant
Yeah.
add to your vintage. But some of these people that are buying this stuff, let's be honest, aren't vintage folks, so that's not going to be
Right.
an option for them, right? So
Exactly.
I try to sway as many people that way as I can, but some people just not vintage people. So
Yeah.
this is not marketed for vintage people. Obviously, it's marketed for
Yeah.
the modern, ultra modern crowd.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think, Brody?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of both because, like, there's people that want the Brady autos, and there's people that are looking for Max Clark and Paul Skeens too. But there's also the people that are pushing it too. I mean, there's people that go on YouTube and they're making money just to do it, and there's YouTubers that are just opening tons of product to chase these cards. So it's definitely a little bit of both.
Yeah. No, I agree. Mad City Brew says just keep buying singles, live another day to watch hobby box prices go to the moon. I actually wanted this is actually a really good topic right here, and that's box prices because Prism Football came out, or at least pre-order has started to come out for retail and everything else. Hobby still a little high, but it's dropped some. But retail, it seems to be dropping a little bit back down to normal. They're releasing stuff, closer to the $24.99 level and the 29 as opposed to the 39 and stuff like that. Megas have been cheaper, so there's a lot, the hobby boxes and stuff have, started to go down quite a bit. And if not, they level out pretty easily upon initial release. But what do you guys think in terms of box prices here? Do you think these box prices and stuff are going to continue to rise, or do you think we're going to see kind of like a settle as we go into 2024?
I mean, there's no Stroud, there's no Young, and there's no
Yeah.
Levis
Yeah.
auto. That's
Yeah.
that's too hard for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they gotta fall. I don't know. That's too hard for me to even open that much of it because you can't pull autos of them. I mean, there's Richardson still, which is nice, but he's hurt. As soon as he got hurt, I was like, that's gonna hurt that market a lot
Yeah.
because it's the one big guy that they still have.
Yeah.
But I think Bowman Chrome Sapphire, you came out. kind of excited. Want to rip one of those eventually. That stuff looks awesome.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I don't know. It just seems so risky. I know you can still pull parallels of them and stuff. You can still pull 1-on-1, stuff like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like high risk, really, really high risk for.
Yeah, it's that Ben Simmons effect in football that we've never gotten a chance to see before, and we've never really had a test subject that panned out because Ben Simmons immediately played like crap, and so all of his stuff within 2 years, all that meant nothing, and so we have no idea what it looks like when we have a player that doesn't have any licensed autos and only has those parallels. How do those, because a lot of his cards are selling really well. His mosaic retail parallels, for example, are still like $50-$60 raw. Pretty heavy, for a retail card when everyone else who has autos is like $5-$7. So if they pan out like CJ Stroud, if he continues doing what he's doing and becomes a good quarterback, it'll be interesting to see how those cards hold up, being that they don't have any autos, because we've never had that in the hobby, at least in the modern hobby.
Hopefully they don't.
I want to thank T. Sorry, go ahead, Brody.
Oh no, I was just saying. Hopefully they don't turn into Kenny Pickett or Justin Fields.
No,
Yeah. Listen, the Kenny Pickett one hurts, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical when they made the pick, how high they kind of reached for him, but people believed in him, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping he, right now he's hurt, trying to get back on the field. I hope, as a Steeler fan, I don't root against my own players, but right now the verdict doesn't look good. I want to thank, I think it's TCD Cards. I now have the Facts of Life theme song earwormed into my brain this morning. I'll be hearing that probably the rest of the day. Here's the thing, going to your question, Drew, with the wax. We're not in that COVID crescendo. During that COVID crescendo, everything was an instant profit maker. You could do no wrong. Even if you tried to screw up,
you could buy Prism Baseball and sell it. Yeah.
We're not in that anymore. And
No.
so for shop owners and dealers and people who carry wax products, you have to be now selective. Can I, if I buy it at this offering, this SRP, this offering price, will I be able to sell it? Is it too high for my customers? The dilemma they're in between a rock and a hard place, right? Because they want to order direct. And if you start declining products, right? And in some cases, I don't think they even allow you to decline products. I don't have a store. So you got to be careful, because then you'll lose your direct purchasing.
Well, they decline a lot of very big stores too, like Hit and Run Sports Cards up in Virginia, massive store, and has huge events and is like essential to the Chantilly show. They don't even work with them. Like even if you have storefront, I mean, it's ridiculous.
So I think these store owners are sort of like backed into a corner, like having to buy these products and probably apologizing to their customers, like, hey, I'm sorry that the sticker shock is that high, but I have no choice. You know what I mean? Or, do you buy a thing I did back in my store days, right? On some products, you sell them at cost or close to cost because you have to carry them, and you hope to make, someone comes in and not just buys that, but buys something else, and you still come out.
I wanted to mention exactly what you're talking about. A collector's dream says fanatics will force shops to buy everything, including junk they can't sell. That's how it's been for a long time. You have to buy this to. I mean, if you were getting allocation from any, if it was GTS, whether it was Peachtree, whoever you were going through at all, that you would have to buy a couple of cases of WNBA Prism or something, for example, if you wanted to get any of the big products allocated to you. If you wanted massive amounts of allocation for the last decade plus, at least, that model has been, you've got to buy everything else too. If you want the big allocation and you want more than a box or two. That's just
they got you. They got you over the falls, right? Hey, you want the definitive, you want the Bowman draft, the Bowman Do you want the Sapphire? You got to buy
Big league.
Topps Big League. You got to
Yeah.
buy, you know, what all that stuff. They don't make opening day. I will say this on Topps Fanatics. Give them a little. I'm beating them up a little bit. I'll give them a little credit. They did away with some of those brands that people
Yes, they
really
did.
weren't fond of.
Yes, they
So that
did.
part's good. But something will always replace something. So
Yeah.
whatever you get rid of the least favorite brand. Something else is going to now take that place
Yeah.
as the least favorite brand. That's how it has to. That's how it'll always be. And so, like you just said, Drew, that they're going to force the stores to buy those lesser popular brands
Mhm.
to with for the privilege of buying the more popular brands. Breakers have it in the best way because it seems like an established breaker has no problem selling out their breaks, so they can
No,
buy these
that's because
products.
they've got those deals, and I don't know, I haven't seen them in person, but I know I'm going to be seeing one soon. But I know they're getting those smaller boxes, the tougher. They know which boxes are tougher to fill. They know the ones where breakers can't charge more and people aren't going to get in them. They're getting those boxes for a lot cheaper. They're getting it to where
Yeah,
they can still make their margins. That's the one area that they're focusing on really keeping people happy. And like you said, John, you've got to change things. That's the one thing we don't know is Tops has eliminated and Fanatics has eliminated a lot of these third party distributors. So, what is their distribution method going to look like when it's fully branched out, or is it complete? Because from my understanding in the stores I'm talking to, a lot is changing. Now, I know we have a lot of store owners in the chat. Let us know what you've heard, and please, anyone call in, join the show. We would love to have you. I'll put the link again here in the chat. We have it in a couple of times also. But is their distribution model going to change a lot, especially when they get these other sports? I don't think they built everything out yet.
yeah. I think Drew. I mean, Ruben's not been secretive. I mean, he's been on
Yeah.
financial networks doing interviews. He wants to control the industry. He said as much in reading between the lines. He wants to cut out the middleman. He wants to be the middleman or have no middleman. So that's the models. They want to like they said 10x the hobby, and they want to control the 10x of the hobby. They want to make the money. That before they acquired Tops, right? Fanatics saw what those distributors were doing, pulling product back, saying they were sold out, waiting for demand to increase, and then raising the prices. They didn't like that. I don't think a lot of people like that, including Fanatics, but Fanatics now wants to be that and or at least control that. And so, to be a distributor now in today's hobby, it's probably a nervous time even for them. We've seen some of them been already told you're not going to be getting product from Fanatics / Tops anymore. Like
Yeah.
you're going to have to, pivot somewhere else or do what you're going to do. But we're not going to work with you anymore. So I think that the Fanatics, model is buy from us. They're even, with Fanatics Live now. They want breaking on their channel.
Oh yeah.
Never done before the acquisition. So I think we know what they want to do or want to try to do. It's just, I saw someone comment in the chat. It's something I've said for years. The buyers, that's us, the hobby ultimately has the final say.
Oh, absolutely.
If we don't support a product, if we don't support a platform, if we don't buy a release, that's how we can speak. Um,
Yep.
but you have to use that power, right? You have that power. You have to use that power.
I agree. I completely agree.
This is one of those questions. 2024. Let's go back. December 23rd, 2024. Let's rewatch this and see what Fanatics has done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think we're
It's a
going to
good,
see a lot of change.
yeah, it's a good point by Brody because now we're going to start seeing once these licensing, we saw Fanatics try to get it sooner. We saw
Yeah.
countersuits. Once the licensing legally kicks over to Fanatics, which will be in the next year or two, we're going to really see the full onslaught of what they
Yes.
really plan to do.
Oh, it
Like
hasn't
Brady just
even
said.
begun. It has not remotely begun. But like you said, John, I love, how open and honest Ruben's been on everything. I thought they've been handling everything great. And hopefully they handle the issues with Bowman well, but they've been doing pretty good. But yes, I completely agree with Collector's Dream here. Breaking is right now, it is Fanatics' best marketing. Absolutely 100%. Now, if you listen to Michael Rubin, they're going to change that. So, and marketing is going to be done a lot differently. So we might be seeing like Brody said, let's look in a year and see where that marketing is. Because that's one thing I think you're going to see this year that we haven't seen before is a level of marketing and promotion in the hobby. A lot of cards in places you have not seen them before. At least that's my prediction for 2024. And now I'm a rhymer. Woo!
Yeah, and we've seen that. We've seen that, Drew. We've seen it show up in places we haven't seen before. Like you said, though, I think that continues to grow.
Yep. Well, I have we all have, all of us here, myself, John, and Brody, have a very special Christmas present to bring to you all. And that is the man himself, Texas Card Dude. Dad jokes are back.
Ho,
What's up,
ho,
man?
ho, what up, yo?
Ho, ho,
Well,
ho.
you gotta have a hat like this, man.
I know.
I don't have a hat like that, man. Pimping ain't easy, but a show is fun.
How you doing,
Merry
bro?
Christmas to all, man. Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Man, I had to jump on. Man, I had OGs in the house, so I had to at least jump on and say Merry Christmas with, Brody, I promise, no dad joke today. Maybe next time, but no dad joke today.
Oh,
That's your Christmas present. There's no dad jokes.
I mean, it is Christmas.
That's gonna be the best Christmas present you get. I got a feeling it isn't, but for the show, it might be the best Christmas present Brody
probably
will get. But
oh man, I had a chance. It's not very often I get a chance to actually watch live anymore. It's not a chance that I get. Actually, yes, I am from the DFW area.
Are you the guy behind all the fake one-to-ones? That's our first question.
That's why he's got the glasses and the hat. He's disguising his
exactly.
identity.
And that's growing out that beard because getting a little old. Yeah, so
Let me edit my notes on this real quick. Review,
there you go,
Brad. No, all right, cool.
It's not very often I get a chance to watch live anymore. It's very rare that I get a chance to call in. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. It was good to see everybody. It's good to yuck it up with everybody every once in a while. Man, I miss you guys, but I'm working my butt off. I'm having a lot of fun and a lot of success at work. But I miss you guys. And I wanted to say Merry Christmas. And even though I'm not around, I still think you all a lot. So,
well, we miss you too,
Brad.
Miss you too, man.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Tell Kim Merry Christmas as well, and have a healthy and safe 2024 and continued success, obviously.
Y'all too, and don't still love you guys. Miss y'all guys, but man, pimping ain't easy, but a show is fun.
There you go. There you go.
Get Brad's new rap album dropping in
right?
2024. I want to comment.
I'm a little skeptical though. Bobos, you got me thinking. I gotta look wearing those hat and glasses.
Yeah, hey, comment. I'm gonna put this comment up, Drew, from Dufex of Life.
Yes,
a lot of comments. I appreciate some of these comments. He's right with this one. If distributors were doing such a fair and effectively job, Fanatics wouldn't see the need. That's 100% right.
Dead on.
Distributors are their own worst. They got fat off the calf for many years, and I hope they put some of that money away because you knew that the music was going to stop at some point. And
Yep.
Dufex is exactly right. They're their own
100%.
worst. They have no one else to blame. Now we don't have to like what Fanatics does, but this is really one of the reasons why it's going to happen
Yeah.
is distributors' actions, right? They've kind of brought it on themselves, and so I think that's a great
110%
point.
correct. I was actually going to pull that up as
Yeah,
well. 1000% correct. If there wasn't a reason to change anything, they would have just bought it and kept operations the same. They've bought it, they've gutted it, they've changed everything. So obviously there's a freaking problem. A company doesn't come in and buy that and not do it. So Mike just
yeah.
bought a new book on Amazon, Breaking for Dummies. Dude, I didn't think I'd released it yet. Shoot. But thank you for the purchase. Greatly appreciated.
No one's wrote that
Oh, all
yet.
right. Well,
There's the opportunity.
we got about 10 minutes here or so before we wrap up today's show. And one of the last shows of the year. We got another one right before the end of the year.
Yeah.
But John, you and I were talking before the show. It's getting to that time, Christmas. It kind of turns that corner. You and me used to do a show together about it, but football season, football really amps up Christmas Day and beyond. And this year, some interesting stuff going on that I think could affect the hobby. When Brody, you mentioned earlier, none of the quarterback autographs. We've seen a massive uptick in positional player prices. Lots of players. Now, whether if that's because there's no quarterbacks to chase or the hobby's getting big and they're finally tired of it being a quarterback only sport, you're even seeing defensive players get love now. But you've got Puka, who could break the rookie receiving record. He's 147 yards short, I think. You've got Tyreek Hill, who looks like he's going to break the all-time receiving record in a season mark, barring some major catastrophic collapse by the Dolphins offense. I don't see happening. A lot of big stuff going on, a lot of big things happening. Stroud about to set probably 50 different rookie records. What do you guys think about the football, and as we head into Christmas, as well as the football hobby? Because despite not having all those autographs, in my opinion, it's actually quite strong.
All right, I'll start. Football talk time. I love that we're getting a lot of positional players talk. Christian McCaffrey, what a season he has put on. He is
MVP, baby.
He
MVP. He
ridiculous.
won't get it. He'll get Offensive Player of the Year, but MVP.
Yeah, he is like he's the alpha male of the NFL. I know
Yeah.
that could be used for different ways, but we're just going to go with that. Tyreek Hill, like you said, he's the cheetah. I think he could be MVP, but obviously McCaffrey's got a chance. Dak Prescott, I mean, whether you hate the Cowboys or not, he's definitely got a chance at it. Brock Purdy, I mean, people were like, this guy overrated. He had a little bit of a fluke at the end of the year. No, this guy is legit. He looks really good. For the hobby, man, like we said, no quarterbacks in these products except Anthony Richardson. But you got all these position players that have looked unreal.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter.
Puka Nakua. Like, there's so many guys that you could chase besides these quarterbacks, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the point Brody made earlier, right? We don't see these quarterbacks in these products, and I think it's helping the Bowman University products, right? That they do appear in. People are searching those cards out, whether it's to open the boxes or just buy singles off eBay or other selling platforms, right? It's driving, football. I just did a small show, did very well and sold a lot of football. And Brody mentioned Christian McCaffrey. I sold a ton of CMC stuff
Oh, yes.
at this show, and I think certain running backs, not the position across the board, are getting a little more love than traditionally. I understand why they traditionally don't. It's a shorter shelf life. Most running backs' careers are 3 to 5 years, where quarterbacks are double digits. But we're seeing receivers start to get more love, like the career ones. Your Tyreek Hills. Mike
Hey,
Evans.
Randy
Mike
Moss
Evans
stuff
is
going up.
Mike Evans is kind of quietly sneaking into that,
Yep.
where he's starting to embark on a double-digit, productive career. Going to be a Hall of Famer.
You mentioned
and people are
something.
starting to recognize that.
You mentioned
Yeah, go ahead.
something that's going to be really interesting to watch because it's in its second year now, but all the Bowman U products for football. Now we're into bowl season. Now,
Yep.
I always harken back, and a good example of this would be Chris Johnson. He had a bowl game where he ended up with almost 400 yards of total offense when you add up his receiving and rushing, and I think it was 5 touchdowns. Kind of what put him on the map after, and then he ran his fast 40-yard dash. Then he got drafted, rest is history. He didn't have any cards to go after when he was doing that stuff in the bowl games. He did later on down the line, but these guys have got cards now. First Bowman, Caleb Williams, players like this, all of these top guys. Travis Hunter is going to have a first Bowman, and some of them are going to be in college for multiple years. It's going to be interesting to see how these bowl game performances and things like that affect these guys' values, because there is a market for this stuff. I was at the recent Raleigh show and then the Hickory show. The amount of Blake Corum, Bowman U stuff that I saw getting picked up was astronomical. The amount of CJ Stroud Bowman U stuff that was being picked up like crazy. Any of it was very easy to move, and it was priced at a very, in my opinion, good level for the buyer and the seller. So it's going to be interesting. We've never really seen that prospecting side of football, but we're a couple years into the products now. It's going to be interesting to see how bowl season, the tournament, the championship, and all that, if we get some breakout players and people like that to collect.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Georgia, Florida is the one I'm interested in, because if Florida shows out in that game, CFP, you should be ashamed of yourself for not putting them in.
Yeah, we could do a whole show, right, Drew, about the bowl selection process.
Absolutely.
Listen, help is on the way. Next year they expand to 8 teams. So I'm sure the 9th team will gripe, but at least we'll have twice as many in the tournament as this year. Florida State arguably got the short end of the stick too. Like I said, we won't go up, and you make a great point. Let me use our own local team here, Drew. Syracuse Orange football finished at 6-7. Not a lot of NFL prospects on that team, but they have 4 or 5 players in these Bowman U products that sell on the local level, maybe not on the national level. But that's never happened before. If you were a Syracuse Orange football fan, your guy had to make the NFL to have any shot to own that player on
or have
cardboard.
some team set from the team store that was nothing.
And Bowman U has changed that equation. And so love it or hate it, for a team, if you're a fan of a local university, of players that are probably not going to have either an NFL career at all or a productive one where they may not have NFL cards, you can still pick up autos and base cards and refractors and color variations for your college team. And that's a good, to me, that's a good thing. I see that as a good thing, and not just as a seller, because obviously I have those cards selling on the local levels here, but those collectors here locally that want a connection to our college team.
Dude, I'm an East Carolina diehard. That type of stuff has allowed a lot of ECU guys into it.
And listen, for the players themselves, they're probably never going to have a card like an NFL rookie card because they're not going to have an NFL career. But now they still have cards to show their future kids, grandkids, like, hey, here's, dad and grandpa when he was in college at Syracuse University and played football. And that's cool when you think about it on that ground level. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, 1000%. We might not produce the greatest athletes of all time, but we will produce some heavy partiers. We know how to party. I don't know exactly who you are, but apparently you've been to East Carolina. It's a lot of fun. That's why I went there. But yes, we do put out some elite athletes now. We've got some great pitchers in Major League Baseball. Connor Norby coming up in the minors this year should be a great player. But yeah, we've definitely got a lot more professional drinkers.
Yeah. Hey, a couple questions for Brody from the chat. Dan Ryan wants to know. He knows Brody likes the Bears. What do the Bears do with Justin Fields? Before you answer that question, Brody, there's a rumor going around in Steeler chat rooms, which I'm a part of, that the Steelers may, if the Bears do trade him, the Steelers will be one of the people at the front of that line to try to acquire him to replace Pickett. So before you answer that, I'll just preface it with that.
Okay, well, how did Trubisky go? You already had to bench Trubisky, so that's probably not a good idea. You already benched Trubisky. So there's my answer to that. I think Justin Fields is our guy. He looks like he can be really good. And to be honest, I do not want Caleb Williams because I do not want a guy that wants to go cry with his cat or his dog or whatever he said, because that seems just no. I don't want.
Well, then I read he wants a percentage of the team ownership. That's nuts to me. That's worse than the crying.
This is why you need to go to college for 4 years, not 3.
Yeah.
And Brad asked you, Brody, the best CJ Stroud card to get. He wants to know your opinion.
Maybe like a Prism or Mosaic. I don't know.
No, I think it's got to be, if you can get your hands on it, it's got to be the Panini Instant Auto, because it's literally, there's only like 500 maybe total copies with all the variations, and it's the only autograph that he'll have, period. Yeah. I'd go with that. Otherwise, I agree with you. Prism, Mosaic, something like that.
Or if you can deal with college, Bowman U Sapphire would be cool too.
Yes. Yep. Totally agree there. All right, guys. Well, it is about that time to wrap everything up for the week. So before we go, of course, every single week we are live at 11 a.m. Eastern on Bench Clear Media. And then we've got a great show lined up next week. But guys, what do you guys have going on? Anything special for the holidays show-wise? Anything like that?
Well, today I'm going to go watch the Steelers lose their 4th straight game. Probably.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you to the Bengals. And the only thing I get out of it, or the only good thing that happens with that, is we move up the draft board and get a higher pick. So there's that. I don't necessarily root for losses, but that's the silver lining of when you're not going to the postseason. You're not playing for nothing. We need to get a higher pick. I'm not a Kenny Pickett believer, so we're going to have, whether it's Justin Fields or someone in the draft or someone else. I've even heard Aaron Rodgers' name being bandied about as a Steeler. I don't know, but they got to get someone that can make plays vertically down the field. We have too much talent at wide receiver. Those guys may not even be there long because they decided not to block or run routes very hard in Deontay Johnson and Pickens. So it's a mess in Pittsburgh, but they're my mess. I got to, I've been 5 years old since I've been a Steelers fan. I gotta stick it out, and but it's starting to look like the 80s again.
It's all right. And I'm headed out. I'm torturing myself on Christmas Eve in person in the cold. So, I'm right there with you. But Brody, John, it's always a pleasure, guys. Great to do the show with you. Everyone out there, hope everyone has a very safe Christmas. New episode, John Show, of course, came out yesterday. New episode of Let Me Get That Potograph comes out today, actually. And Brody has his daily rips and all that all week long, so make sure to check that out. He's been doing a lot of cool holiday stuff as well. But we'll have a new cast of characters here for you next week. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas and holidays, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.